Welcome. Aquaba means welcome. We want to welcome everybody here to the Aquaba Hall here on this Sunday. I want to welcome people out there in that place that I can't see, but they can see me. And we hope that they would share that with other people so we can have many people in the room here, even though we can't see you, you can see us. So we think that's important. But what's important is for people to be here and for us to welcome you being here, because the kind of discussion you're going to have here is the kind of discussion you won't have at the city halls wherever you're located, any other community meeting where you're located for that matter. We say this is our Black Power rally on Sundays, and that's what we are here about, to talk about Black Power. And with that said, today we're going to talk about our Black Power radio station. Matter of fact, our theme today is "This is what Black Power radio looks like," is what we're going to be talking about today. And it's so important. We're going to have a dynamite lineup with terrific people here going to tell you more about it. Only thing I'm going to say is that KSLB is going to be the blackest thing happening in St. Louis, because it's going to keep St. Louis black. And St. Louis is black, I'm going to tell you that. You know, I come from a place where it used to be black, called Oakland, California, which ain't black no more. But St. Louis is still black. So therefore, we need a Black Power radio program right here. KSLB is what we're going to talk about today. Before we get to it, we're going to talk about something that's just as black, if not blacker, our nation, African nation fight song, Uhuru.
Best Trace Lumumba's life won't be in vain. We are winning. Keep up the work in Marcus Garvey's name. We are winning. Independent and free is what we will be. We are winning. Africa will bask in our victory. We are winning. Long live the liberation of our African nation. Freedom to organization. Socialist world, our creation. 1 billion strong, yes, we are one. We are winning.
All right, Uhuru. Indeed, we are winning. And proof of that is right here in this room. I really want to appreciate everybody for being here. As I said earlier, I want to welcome Brother Jesse Todd, the People's Alderman in the House. And always a pleasure to have him here. And I talked a little earlier about what the overview of this theme is going to be. This is what Black Power looks like. And it is going to be a dynamic thing we're going to have here. But I wanted to say real quickly, this coming Thursday, the 27th of August, is when we're going to have our conditional use hearing. That's going to be about us being able to build out the property that we have already acquired, the licenses we've already acquired, and what we need now from the city is this conditional use hearing, and to get past that so that we can build out our Black Power radio station in this dear Black city of St. Louis. So today we want to talk a little bit about that, the conditional use hearing, the construction permit to begin building out the radio station, which will be right next door to this building where we are now, next to our Black Power garden, next to our Black Power outdoor venue. And again, we don't have to say much about Uhuru House being the center of everything. But we're going to talk a little bit about what Black Power looks like. We're going to have two very special guests today. We're going to have Akili Anai, who is the Director of Agitation and Propaganda of the African People's Socialist Party and a very dynamic leader of the Uhuru movement. We're going to have Eddie Mosby, who is the dynamic DJ of 96.3 in St. Petersburg, Florida. Uhuru! I'm not going to steal his line. He's going to introduce himself in time. I'm tempted to say it, but I'm not. So I just really want to appreciate these comrades. And Akile is serving as community advisor to help Black Power 94 get off the ground here in St. Louis. Some of you may remember she was here on last Sunday where she spoke a little bit about it. She's going to be here today to speak more about it, except she'll be in St. Petersburg, Florida today, where Eddie Mosby will also be speaking. And we do have a radio station on the ground in St. Petersburg, Florida, 96.3. So again, we are talking about expansion of Black Power over the airwaves, not controlled by the FCC, but what we can put out, as the chairman says, they cannot silence the voice of the African Revolution, and people need to hear what we have to say. So it's a very important discussion we're going to have on today. And without further ado, I want to bring up Comrade Dr. Director Akile Anai. This is what Black Power looks like, talking about it. And let's bring her forward. Uhuru.
Uhuru comrades in St. Louis. As mentioned, my name is Akila Anai. I'm the Director of Media and Communications for the African People's Socialist Party. And I first really want to salute my leadership, Chairman Amalia Shatella and Deputy Chair Onazane Shatella. I was there just a few days ago to celebrate the grand opening of the Uhuru Bakery and Cafe. And I wanted to make sure I said that because we are bringing this radio station project as a part of the expansion of the Black Power blueprint. So this is not just some, pop-up overnight, kind of project, but it's something that we have been building on, certainly in St. Louis for the past decade now. But it's work that, is something that is like built into the strategy of the African People's Socialist Party and the Uhuru movement to seize territory, to build dual and contending power. And, one of the most critical weapons, in our arsenal is, weapons that allow us to control our own narrative, to wage the war of ideas. And, we do that successfully with our own news journal, the Burning Spear newspaper, our books and publications, but also through the radio airwaves. And throughout history, radio has been a valuable instrument in, making political struggle and revolution. And the African working class has possession of its own radio station to be able to, exercise its own, defining itself, defining who we are as a people, through various political education, through, the different programming, the speeches, etc. The content as far as music, the cultural, production and output, from this radio station, all of these things that are, going to influence and organize our community around the various issues, that is all centered in or, has its root in the whole colonial question. This is what we get to, to use to be able to, carry out all of these objectives. And so, again, this is not like a pop-up overnight kind of project, but it's something that has been in the makings for a very long time, and it's something that we already do. So yes, we are very excited to bring Black Power 94.1 FM, KSLB, Keep St. Louis Black, which is an anti-gentrification slogan that really ties all of the work that's happening within the Black Power Blueprint to transform the conditions of the African community, but to also to negate and push back the effects of gentrification and colonialism over our lives. So that's what the call letters stand for. KSLB, Keep St. Louis Black, Black Power 94.1 FM. And this is a part of expanding the Black Power Radio network because, again, we do this already in St. Petersburg, Florida. We are replicating this program in St. Louis. So you can have the total confidence that, first of all, we know what we're doing. We can do this with the support and the contribution of the African working class community right there in North St. Louis. And that's exactly what has made the Black Power 96.3 FM radio station in St. Petersburg, Florida successful. It has been the community, the people that has come out consistently and made their support known through donations, through volunteering, through signing a petition, and we'll talk about that in just a moment. But the radio station has really engaged the community, engaged the people, provided different opportunities as far as broadcast journalism training is concerned, creating youth programs, like have, programming for, high school age students to be able to, to come on and to engineer their own show, to be able to tell their stories on the radio. The Local Going Global program, which is the brainchild of our brilliant station manager, Mr. Eddie Maltzby. We are trying to find our Eddie Maltzby in St. Louis to be the station manager for 94.1. But the Local Going Global program, which is, this weekly contest that local independent unsigned artists are able to submit their work to have their songs played on the radio airwaves. And then the people listening to the radio will vote on their favorite song, and then that song gets put into constant rotation. So this is an amazing opportunity for cultural workers, to be able to get their art, their artistry, their creativity known out there and supported by the community, because we know that certain content sells, right? We know that when 6 media conglomerates own 90% of what it is that we get to see and hear, that everything we're seeing and hearing is a part of a strategy to undermine, to perpetuate the slander against our community. But with Black Power Radio, it is totally different. So we are able to create content that uplifts our community, that empowers our community, that serves as organizing for our community. And then that is the thing that draws the support, that wins the unity from the people. And, and then that creates a platform for local artists. So that is also another powerful feature of the radio station. And I mentioned programming. You don't have to have, years of experience or degrees in order to run a radio show. You just need an opportunity. You just need some training. And we have all of our programmers are community members coming from the community and developing their own shows, what they want to talk about. And we provide, political education and training in how to engineer their own show and, the way in which a show can flow. And again, this serves as another opportunity, for the community. And there are all types of people, that come on and have different things that they offer. Someone might be, have like skills and interests in the medical field, in, gardening and plant life. We have people on from the beauty and hair care, community that's able to, come on and provide like tips and, all of these things that our community is always looking for. And so these are the kinds of, again, opportunities that we have the ability to bring to North St. Louis, along with all of the incredible work and institutions that already exist there under the Deputy Chair Ona Zanetchatella's leadership and the African People's Education and Defense Fund. And the Black Prayer 96.3 FM is actually a project of the African People's Education and Defense Fund. But 94.1 FM is a project of the All African People's Development and Empowerment Project. If you guys know Comrade Fofi, comrades in the house. Comrade Fofi is a member of the All African People's Development Empowerment Project, a leading member of APDEP, Project Black Ankh. And, this is the nonprofit that, this radio station is part of. And so on top of all of the cultural aspects of what will come with the radio station and the practical training in broadcast journalism and programming, the types of content we're talking about are things that APDEP directly like trains in or has specialties in. So we talked about gardening, we talked about, or, there's, CPR training, stop the bleed training, what to do in the event of, weather emergencies and how to get prepared. APDEP was a critical force in, helping to define what our strategy had to be in maintaining our health and wellness during the colonial virus pandemic known as COVID-19. And we were able to fortunately have those same kinds of trainings and PSAs air on Black Power 96 as well. So these, again, are the types of things that we can look forward to with Black Power 94.1. There was the devastating tornado of last year where the city, there's really no word to describe. Neglect is not a powerful enough word to describe what the city has done to North St. Louis and the African community, not just with that tornado, but historically. And that tornado was just a part of a continuum of assaults made on the African community in St. Louis. And with our own radio station, things like we forgot to push a button would not be possible. Being able to alert our community, prepare our community, and before a disaster even strikes, to be prepared, to know what all of the necessary steps, strategies, how, we learned earlier at our plenary this year from APDEP how to make a go bag, what you need in the event of an emergency, these types of things that we are able to keep our community, abreast on, and to, again, to make sure that we're prepared before disaster, strikes, right? We beat the disaster to the punch. Again, these are the things that we can look forward to, and it's things that we've already done in Black Power 96. It'll be mentioned shortly in this video that we're going to play about Black Power 96's lawsuit against the Pinellas County Commission, who stole funds from APDF and the radio station when the station applied for COVID relief funds, were granted those relief funds, or ranked highly to receive those relief funds, and then as a part of a political assault on our movement that also looked like July 29, 2022, when the FBI raided and assaulted our movement and our leadership, that this was a part of that same attack to, strangle us economically, to take away these resources that Black Power 96 fought for and won. To take those resources back through a political assault. And so the station is making a lawsuit, or has, waged a lawsuit against Pinellas County Commission. We'll talk about that in just a minute. But, as it relates to like weather disasters and preparedness, we had comrades stationed in Black Power 96.3 during a major hurricane that impacted St. Pete. And it was Mr. Eddie, it was Comrade Kinge, who are on the air talking about where people can get their sandbags, where people can go for shelter, where people can access, extra waters. And the Uhuru House in St. Pete was one of those places. And, we weathered the storm, literally, to be able to bring our people round the clock safety and emergency information. So, again, we are replicating what we do in St. Pete and bringing that to the other St. Louis, Northside St. Louis, with KSOB 94.1 FM. So, again, extremely excited about this radio project, and for you comrades to be involved in it. Programmers, cultural workers, engineers, interest in broadcast journalism, interest in music production, audio engineer. We want you, and we need you to go ahead and sign up to be part of this, and of course express your support at the conditional use hearing to say, yeah, we want a project like this in our community. We have to have a project like this. We have to have a radio station. We absolutely have to. We have all these dynamic programs and institutions. We have community gardens. We have farms. We have basketball courts. We have, different programs and opportunities for the youth, for the elders, for our people coming out of the prisons. We have so much to offer in this movement, and we need to be able to publicize all that. We need to be able to tell the community, yes, this is what we've got going on, as well as, giving us good music to ride to, good, speeches and presentations to get organized to. These are the types of things that our community deserves as well as needs. So that's just a little bit about what I want to say, just about how exciting this project is and what it offers. And there's so much more to say, but we're going to get into this video that talks about the lawsuit, Black Power 96 versus the Pinellas County Commission. That is the government body that was used to make this political assault on our movement in this way. And in that video, it also, says some of the things that I've talked about in terms of what the radio station has been able to accomplish in St. Pete and what we intend to accomplish in St. Louis. So this video gets into all of that, and we'll again say more about the basis for the lawsuit, and then at the end we'll give some updates about where we are with that. So thank you, comrades, so much for allowing me the opportunity to speak on this question, and to continue building the necessary support to make the radio station successful there in North St. Louis. Uhuru.
And now we're going to look at a video, Black Power 96 video.
Black Power 96 is a small, independent black community FM radio station in St. Petersburg, Florida. We are fighting a battle in federal court that, if we win, we will set case law precedent to protect the First Amendment rights to freedom of speech and association for all media institutions and individuals against the threat of defunding by those in power who seek to eliminate dissent.
Every day in the news, we read about another big media company or educational institution bowing to pressure and throwing their principles out the window.
Black Power 96 Radio is a small station with big impact, and we refuse to abandon our mission. We are a project of the African People's Education and Defense Fund, the baddest nonprofit on the planet.
In 2022, Black Power 96 applied for federal money from the American Rescue Plan Act that was being administered by the local county government. The ARPA money was supposed to assist groups and projects that had been negatively impacted by the COVID pandemic. The station asked for $37,000 to make equipment purchases that had been canceled after revenue was lost during and after COVID.
Black Power 96 application was ranked fourth highest of 55 applicants.
In November of 2022, Pinellas County Commission voted to approve our application.
In January of 2023, APEDF received a contract for the grant, signed it, and returned it.
In February of 2023, a newly arrived Pinellas County Commissioner, Chris Latvala, challenged Black Power 96's grant award. He slandered the African People's Education and Defense Fund by falsely claiming that our nonprofit ran candidates for office, which we do not, and which would have lost us our nonprofit status. He falsely charged us with anti-Semitism and that our nonprofit was under FBI investigation, which we were not. He said that the county should never provide funding to the African People's Education and Defense Fund.
The African People's Education and Defense Fund received money for radio station equipment.
Yes.
Was that for Black Power 96 in St. Petersburg?
Radio stations. Yeah, I think that is for their radio station.
According to their website, and that's the website of the African People's Education and Defense Fund, they're associated with the Ruhus in St. Petersburg.
5 days later, the county voted to revoke Black Power 96's $37,000 grant.
Florida has sunshine laws requiring government officials to be transparent and do their business in public view.
Did the place already get the money?
No, they may try to sue over discrimination, which is why I focused on the radio station aspect the other day. The contract was literally sitting on the CEO's desk. I told staff after the workshop I was going to bring it back up to try to kill it. Don't publicize either of those things, please.
I will not.
The county did not notify the African People's Education and Defense Fund nor the public that a motion would be introduced to revoke Black Power 96 grants. They hid their shameful act in the last obscure agenda item buried underneath the title, County Commission New Business.
Okay, and number 24 is the County Commission New Business, pertinent timely committee boards, updates, and policy considerations. Let's start with Commissioner Latvala.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. I actually have two items that I'd
Okay.
like to discuss. The first one is on Thursday, we talked about the ARPA funding, and I had some questions about that. And I would like to make a motion to revoke the funding for African People's Education and Defense Fund in the amount of $36,801 for a radio station, because I do not think that we should be funding radio stations with the amount of needs that there are in our community.
I second that.
Okay, it's been moved by Commissioner Latvala and seconded by Commissioner Flowers, and now we open for discussion.
There was no public discussion. Just a unanimous vote to revoke Black Power 96 radio's funding.
At the following commission meeting, community members spoke out in support of the station.
I've grown up here and witnessed the gentrification of my city ever since I was in middle school. Walking around, I could see things being demolished right before my eyes. Black Power 96 has been serving the black community for over half a decade now, providing vital public service announcements, news, and culture. I'm thankful and fortunate to be offered an opportunity at the radio station. As a programmer, as a program engineer for Black Power 96. However, I'm not the first student to work at Black Power 96. A group of Gibbs High School students got their start there with a radio show called No Class. And now my comrade Iquan works for Nielsen Media Group, which is a radio company. He's made it big, and I want to be able to do the same and see the same thing in my community. Thank you.
I'm a resident of St. Petersburg, Florida, my whole life. I'm 52 years old. I was born and raised here. There's been nobody like Black Power 96 in this city ever. Nobody has done for the community what this station does.
My name is Akila Anai, born and raised in St. Petersburg, Florida, and I'm the Director of Media and Communications for the Uhuru Movement. I'm here today as an outraged citizen of Pinellas County because of the recent decision by this commission to revoke the ARPA grant funds previously awarded to the APF radio station WBPU LP 96.3 FM, or famously known as Black Power 96. This vote came days after a commission meeting where commissioners slandered the Uhuru Movement, making baseless claims and accusations. Latvala and Flowers spearheaded this attack, and the rest of the commission followed suit with the assertion that no organization affiliated with the Uhuru Movement should be considered for funding. The Uhuru Movement, founded and led by Omali Yeshitela, has served the historically oppressed and impoverished Black community for over 5 decades, creating programs, institutions, and campaigns that defend the democratic rights of Black people. This commission cannot say the same. When our people were in need of a community center, a health and wellness program, free HIV testing, youth sports and other recreation, cultural centers, educational institutions, the Uhuru Movement provided them. It has been this movement that has fought long and hard for genuine economic development and reparations to our community, something that at every turn the government has worked to intervene and put a stop to.
The county ignored them.
Then, in April of 2023, the Pinellas Community Foundation, who had been contracted by the county to evaluate grant applications, released their results for the second round of ARPA funding. They again ranked Black Power 96 fourth highest of 79 applicants and recommended granting the station $67,000 for a backup generator.
So on October 10, 2023, the African People's Education and Defense Fund filed suit in federal court, demanding restoration of all funding and charging Pinellas County with violating nonprofits' First Amendment rights to freedom of speech and freedom of association, as well with racial discrimination and denial of due process.
The county is spending vast sums of money on a high-powered private law firm to defend their unconstitutional acts. They filed a motion to dismiss with lies about the Uhuru Movement so egregious they were forced to strike and withdraw.
But a year later, Judge Barber dismissed the station's case.
This spring, the African People's Education and Defense Fund filed an appeal with the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals.
Oral arguments will be heard in this case in Jacksonville, Florida, in the first week of November 2025.
The African People's Education and Defense Fund salutes the brilliant work of attorneys Luke Leroux and Rachel Ricks. When the cost of pursuing justice in this case became prohibitive for this small station, renowned First Amendment attorney Leroux offered to continue with the case pro bono, declaring it too important to drop.
Now, Black Power 96 is simply needing to raise funds for the actual case cost of filing, printing, and travel. To support this small station fighting this big battle on behalf of everyone's right to dissent and justice, you can make a tax-deductible donation at blackpower96.org/legal fund.
And join us in court this November in Jacksonville.
Because at Black Power 96, we're not just explaining the world, we're changing it.
So I'm excited to announce, since that video was published and it mentions, to meet us in court in Jacksonville. That was November of last year. Well, since then, just within this past month, we learned that the appeal court actually ruled in Black Power 96 and APEDF's favor and against the Pinellas County Commission, and so has opened our suit back up and is and giving us an opportunity to take this to trial in Tampa federal court, where the judge initially dismissed our suit and sided with the Pinellas County Commission. This is a powerful, powerful victory, and to understand the precedent that has been set here and how the African community continues to lead the fight for the First Amendment and free speech and freedom of association. And that's exactly what APDF and Black Power 96 has done with this lawsuit, the opinion of the judges. And this was the same appellate court, by the way, that reviewed the case of the Uhuru 3. And one of the judges on the ruling of the lawsuit was one of the three judges that heard the oral arguments for the case of the Uhuru 3. And of course, in that case as well, and how on all of these cases are related, these political attacks were made on us for the same reason. And, it's part of the struggle, for anti-colonial free speech for African and colonized people to be able to utilize in our own interest. So that is what, the fight with the radio station against Pinellas County Commission is about. And Black Power 96 and APDF was successful and the attorneys Luke LaRoe and Rachel Ricks, representing APDF in this case, were successful in exposing the Pinellas County Commission, and the court was able to see that. They cited that in this opinion that really held up the whole history and the impact, the resume of APEDF. I mean, it really just held this up, recognizing that the Uhuru movement has served our community, has done this work. And it also eviscerated the Pinellas County Commission. All of the evidence that we had submitted that showed that the county was, actively working to make sure that we could not get these resources on the basis of political association and speech. That same evidence was cited in this opinion, just saying that, this clearly shows motivation by the Pinellas County Commission to strip APDF of its resources. It proves discrimination and, an attack on the right of a nonprofit to be able to exercise association and free speech. And it recognized that nonprofit organizations have a right to do that. So this lawsuit changed law. And, it's going to carry us, through, a potential trial in Tampa. So we're very excited about this and as recognizing the victory that this, presents for our community and for the broader struggle for, again, anti-colonial free speech. And it's just another example of when we fight, we win. And this is a part of, what we can bring to North St. Louis. And, we're in a struggle right now, and where we have to go before the zoning board for a conditional use hearing to be able to get the permits to construct the building where the radio station is going to be housed. And on its face, it's a procedural kind of thing. But we know that they use this same process to attack the Uhuru Bakery and Cafe. Ultimately, they were not successful, as we are open for business at the Uhuru Bakery and Cafe. However, that was something that was used to be able to stunt the progress of the Black Power Blueprint. So we're going to beat them, to the punch, make it very difficult for them to, be able to, to even think about denial of a construction permit. And we're doing that by, of course, bringing in your support, by showing, this board that there is overwhelming community support for this. And there's going to be reports about petition signatures, about letters that we've required so far, and, what we're preparing to do for the conditional use hearing on August 27th. And I want to thank all of you so much for being a part of that effort to, again, show this overwhelming support for the radio station project, for Keep St. Louis Black 94.1 FM. But that is my time, comrades. And I, want to transition this by recognizing, again, the station manager for Black Power 96.3 FM, DJ Eddie Maltzby, who is 100% blind, but you would not be able to tell in his work ethic, his commitment to the radio station and to the African community in St. Pete, but abroad, by making it possible every day for this radio station to be live on air and to be as dynamic as it is and be building community relationships, networking, and making Black Power 96 the primary, radio station. When somebody goes into their car and they click on, that station one where it's already pre-programmed, Black Power 96 is going to be there. That's Mr. Eddie's, goal, mission, and that's something that he's been able to achieve. And really want to salute his leadership and his work. From day one, we flipped that switch. Mr. Eddie was there, and that's why I say we're looking for our Mr. Eddie in St. Louis. So we're looking out for you. Okay, go ahead and sign up. He is there when we say we got to be the last ones to leave. That's Comrade Eddie right there in that radio station. So, it is, my honor to welcome him, bring him into the program to say more about the impact of Black Power 96.3 FM. This is what Black Power Radio looks like. Uhuru, Comrade, and Uhuru, Comrades, thank you so much. Let's build Black Power 94.1 KSLB. Keep St. Louis Black. Uhuru.
Uhuru. Well, just want to say I want to appreciate Director Kile Anai, my leadership here at BP 96 here in St. Petersburg, Florida. We're broadcasting live all the time, all day long, just getting with the community. And that's going to be your job there in St. Louis, Missouri, getting out to the community. And also, first, before I get started, of course, say salute the Chairman O'Malley Yasatella. This brother's been working tirelessly for years and years and years, and Deputy Chair Ona Zane Yasatella for her vision of having a radio station and another radio station there in St. Louis. Networking, I can go back in my mind. We had our online broadcasting. COVID-19 was here, 2019. We had our online concert. And I can remember saying, one day we'll have another Black Power Radio, because it should be one in every damn city in the world. There should not be a Black Power just in St. Louis and St. Pete. It should be one in every city, in every state, because then we can level that playing field of how they have a white dominant radio station in every city, in every state. So your job there in St. Louis, Missouri is to get this radio station up and running and keep it going and keep it running. Get your community, get help from volunteers. I know that Deputy Chair Owners Zane Yasatella has always said volunteers are the heart and soul. And I'm here to just double down on that, because they are. I came to this radio station 2.5 years as a volunteer. When I first heard Black Power, I said, I'm Black and I got power. So I came to the station. That's why I came. I came to the station, and as a little boy, though, I can remember hearing O'Malley Yasatella. Now I'm 63 years old now. As a little boy, I remember hearing Joe Waller. I remember hearing about Joe Waller, and my mom was listening to him on a radio station. I don't know what station, WTMP or one of the other stations. He maybe said something, and I said, Mom, who are you listening to? And she said, be quiet, boy, I'm listening. and so I listened to it. But at the time, as a youngster, I thought, it was just a lot of here's somebody else just talking. But this brother, O'Malley Yasatella, continued to fight here in St. Petersburg and gave us a wellness gym, just so much. The list is just too long to list. And now another opportunity to bring a radio station in St. Louis, Missouri, which is going to be phenomenal. You're going to be able to hear the programming that you need to hear. Again, in COVID-19 hit, other stations were not saying what BP 96 were here in St. Petersburg, how to wash your hands consecutively 20 seconds, where to go to get tested, where to do this, where to do that, because they don't care anything about our Black community. So they're not going to give you that information. But BP 96 and KSLB in St. Louis, Missouri will be able to broadcast the things that Black working class people need to hear. And it's all about us. It's all about us and what we're doing, the working class people, how we need to come together, organize. And back in the civil rights days, they got organized. They went to the churches. Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, they organized. And that's what radio stations can do for you. They can change the game when it comes to getting all of us together. You can make the announcements, Director Kile just said, publicize what you got going on in St. Louis. You have a basketball court. Believe it or not, there's still some Black people don't know it. Believe it or not, there's still some Black people don't know about the garden. Still some Black people don't know about the cafe, the bakery, the Uhuru bakery. But Black Power, KSLB in St. Louis, Missouri, will keep it Black. We'll keep it where people can know about what's going on with the movement, what's going on with the African People's Socialist Party, what's going on with APEDF, the African People's Education and Defense Fund, the baddest nonprofit on the planet, and we don't take that for granted. We have to uphold it and keep stuff for ourselves, because it's all about us at the end of the day. I know it's a cliche when you say that at the end of the day, but it's true. We have to come together and keep this radio station. I heard Director Kile say they need a Black Power manager like DJ Eddie. I'm here to tell you, you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. 100% blind. I don't see nothing, but I feel everything. And I feel that somebody there can do what I do and do it better, because I believe in you. I believe in my people. I believe in you reaching out to the community. If we can't get to the community, then what are we doing? We have to have the community be on our side. This is how we come together. This is how we get organized. And that radio station in St. Louis will be a great radio station. Thank you, Daddy Pop. Another volunteer telling me to lean back so that you can see me or hear me. And so I just want to make sure that you know that. And in this radio station here in St. Petersburg, Florida, we have opened up the airways so that local artists can be heard. It is so many opportunities here for local artists and in St. Louis when you get 94.1 up. Well, you now, I've heard so many, I give a lot of interviews, and a lot of times I hear the same thing. I'm a local artist, but nobody will play my music. Well, not here and not there. That ends today in St. Louis, Missouri, where you can have local artists submit their music and come in. I want to give a shout out to TY33. He sent me his music from St. Louis, Missouri. So shout out to him up there, a rapper in St. Louis, Missouri, sent me his music about 5 years ago. And that's the power. We get music from Africa, West Africa. We get music from Canada, down in Shaka from Canada. All over the world, people are sending their music because of this radio station, Black Power 96.3 FM, what they would not have an opportunity to do if it wasn't for a Black Power radio station. And now we got 2 radio stations networking. And networking, this will build not only the movement, this will build the African People's Socialist Party. This will be a greater way to have members to come in to join the fight, to become revolutionaries. This will help liberate our people. Radio stations like Black Power 96.3 and Black Power 94.1. And I wanted to say those things because it's so true that if we come together, we can be dominant and be a winning force on every ground. I remember when they attacked here in St. Petersburg, Florida, they attacked this building in July, and I came to the station, and I got a call from the chairman, and the chairman said, say what you want to say, do what you got to say. You're on the front lines, Eddie. You're on the front lines, people, there in St. Louis. Conrad, you're on the front lines, and that's how you're going to make this radio station be as powerful as it is. Get your family members, friends, loved ones, grandma, grandpa, nieces, nephews, uncles. Wouldn't that be great to hear all of them on your station? They're here in St. Petersburg. And in the morning time, I got 3 shows that I put on. In the morning, I get up and I say, get out of that bed. Gospel. Because I know if you have some spiritual gospel on your radio show in the morning, a lot of people going to tune in. I heard the chairman say earlier in a meeting, the worldwide meeting today, say, bring people into it. You can't, everybody's not going to be coming into liberation immediately. Everybody's not going to be a revolutionary immediately, but if you introduce them to them, becoming a member, then they can join this fight. They can join the fight of having radio stations And I'm gonna say it now because I just believe in it. I don't see nothing, but I feel everything. Not only there's a Black Power radio station 96.3, but there'll be a Black Power 94.1, and then to keep St. Louis black. And then I'm looking for a Black Power television. We're going places, we're doing things because we're doing it together. As my slogan says here in St. Pete, not just explaining the world, but changing it. And that's what we're gonna do. And get people to sign those petitions when they turned down our grant, as you just saw that video, just extremists, just bias, and making sure they was attacking this radio station, this movement, and any way they can. We had petitions signed, and people come by. It was 500, 600, 700 people came and signed that petition because of the community base that we have. This radio station is reaching out to. They came and signed. That's a lot of signatures in the Black South Side area, which is now being gentrified as we speak. So we want to keep not only St. Louis black, but St. Pete black, and we keep it black by keeping our Black Power 94.1 radio getting started, and Black Power 96.3 of FM here in St. Petersburg going strong. I hope I have convinced you, and I didn't need to convince you. All I need to do is just tell you the truth. That's what I like about the chairman. That's what I like about this movement. They don't give you that BS. He gives you the truth. And what a better way to find out who you are, where you came from, is by the truth. My favorite saying is from him is, you got on the boat as an African, you get off the boat as an African. So we are Black people united. And again, I want to appreciate all of you all there in St. Louis for the Sunday rally and keep it going. And I want to salute all of you all this radio station going up so people can hear about that basketball court, about that the program that people are going to prison, and the Black brothers get out of prison and have no way to turn to. They can come and voice what has happened to them in jail, what has happened to them in prison, and where they need to go and where they need to move forward on a radio station, KSLB. Keep St. Louis black. That's what we gotta do. Uhuru. Vanguard up, comrades.
Uhuru. All right, Uhuru, Vanguard up. I really want to appreciate Comrade Akile and Comrade Eddie Mosby giving us the lowdown of Black Power 96.3 in St. Petersburg, Florida, and lend the support and leadership so that we can build 94.1 here in St. Louis. KSLB, keep St. Louis black. So again, let's give it up for these comrades. And we're going to segue right into the next part that Eddie Mosby just talked about. We're going to get a report on the petitions and the support letters from Comrade Wendy Nia. Bring forth. Uhuru.
Uhuru, everyone.
Uhuru.
Report on petitions and letters of support. Okay, when we go before the zoning board, it is important that we show that this community wants this radio station built. So we have compiled letters and petition signatures to submit to them. Letters of support. We initially named key businesses, organizations, and elected officials to get letters from. And then we opened it up to everyone here. And we also got letters of support and signatures from our wonderful people that came to our grand opening last week at Uhuru Bakery and Cafe, located at 3719 West Florissant. We had a wonderful turnout and we got a lot of signatures from people and we got support letters from them. Right now, we have 34 letters of support in hand, including from some key influential people and neighborhood businesses, such as the Board of Aldermen here in St. Louis, Missouri, Megan Green.
Yes.
National Black Radio Hall of Fame President Bernie Hayes, Gregory Reed, owner of Amber Books, Dr. Loretta King. Loretta King is a St. Louis resident who is a medical professional with the All African Peoples Development and Empowerment Project and who has led the nonprofit's free telemedicine consultations during COVID, and is most recently the nonprofit's free telemed. And most recently the nonprofit's free Stop the Bleeding emergency medical care training. Myself, Wendy Campbell, a former committee person, the People's Alderman, Jesse Todd, right there. Deborah Perkins, owner of two residential properties close to the radio station. Christopher Gladney, president of Northside Independent Neighborhood Association. Boyd A1 Auto Repair located at 3780 West Florissant Avenue. MC Appliances located at 4501 Dr. Martin Luther King. Stephanie Midler, manager of Shamba La Farm. And Maureen Wagner, manager of Uhuru Bakery and Cafe located at 3719 West Florissant. There are some important letters that are still pending, and we hope to get them in hand by the end of the day or tomorrow, Monday, when we want to submit the whole packet to the zoning board. Some of these have given their verbal commitment to give us a letter of support, and we are working to get them by email, including the following: Rasheen Aldrich, Alderman of the 11th Ward, St. Louis City Business License, Mavis Davis. Both of these two gave powerful resolutions at our grand opening last week at the Uhuru Bakery and Cafe located at 3719 West Florissant. Zaki Baruti of the Universal African Peoples Organization. Renard Henson of AMA Construction. He owns the vacant building right next to the Uhuru House here, and also lives in the neighborhood. Pastor Ishman of the church next door to the radio station building across the street here has promised his support, and we are trying to connect in person when he's there to get him to sign. There are some other people we hope to get letters from, and if anyone here is in contact with them, perhaps you can help them get letters, including U.S. Representative Marlon Anderson. We've sent emails and left voice messages, but have not gotten a response yet. The O'Fallon Community Development Organization, which is the recognized neighborhood association for this neighborhood. We've had friendly conversations with both the president and their board, Shirley Everett, in conversation with the board project manager, Melinda Blown. But they haven't, but they don't have a full board schedule until September. Ms. Everett told us that she would share our information with their board to see if they could come to agreement and give us a letter before the meeting. But she thought that would be unlikely because some members were out of town. We also want to get more letters from the businesses that are closest to the station. Okay. We'd like to see if there is anyone here today who will be available to make a visit to some of these businesses tomorrow. The BP gas station across the street, 4226 West Florissant, Buster's Service Station, 4118 North Florissant, Painted Visions Event, 3616 West Florissant, and the Ronald Jones Funeral Home, 2161 Fair, around the corner. And across the street the Lashamba, the Uhuru Forum. The response to our petitions have been overwhelmingly positive. 569 people have signed the petition as of this morning. Salute to Jesse Todd. Salute to Jesse Todd, Wayne X, Andrea Hall, Donna Cutelli, Gwen Cogshell, and everyone who has taken petitions into the community and brought them back with signatures. Thank you so much. Myself, I want to thank me. Because me and my mighty staff that I don't have with me right now will be walking blocks and walking across the street, getting those signatures and getting letters signed. And I do this because I love this organization and I love us and I do what I can, especially since God spared me from dying because I had a stroke. And since I had that stroke, I am passionate about being here and doing what I need to do to get what we need to get our radio station up and going and to move our organization forward. And those of you who are listening to us, please get on this train. It is so important. It is so important. Don't just talk, be about it. Don't just sit on the sidelines, Black folk and white allies. Come on up here and do what you need to do to get us our reparations and our justice. Because you know it's wrong. You know it's wrong. You know the way we living is wrong. Let me finish with the script now. Sorry. Okay. And you know what? That was it. Okay, so I went off course, fine, because that was it. But again, thank you all for listening. Thank you all for being here. And I love me some Black people and some white allies, and I will do what I need to do for us to move forward for justice, because this has been going on too long and it's not helped. Thank you, Uhuru.
Uhuru. All right, that's the incredible Wendy Nia. And I'll get to you in just a sec, Jess. You know, they say Missouri is the show me state. And if this comrade ain't showing you, I don't know who is and who will. She is showing you. So I want people to show up. Before we move on, I want to see by a show of hands, how many people are here for the first time to this building for this Sunday meeting? Raise your hands. And we won't bite you, just raise your hands. How many? Put it up high so we can see. How many? Somebody count them for me. I can't see because it's too light back there. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 people. Uhuru, just want to welcome everybody on. All right. And for those who have been here more than once, I want to see by a show of hands how many people. All right. So that's right. We're in the majority. We're going to flip that script. Well, one day when I'm going to have a meeting, I'm going to say the same thing, and we're going to have more hands who say they was here for the first time. And that's what we want to achieve. So if you bring somebody back next week, we might get to that. So I just really want to appreciate Wendy Nia for that report. Did she say 500 signatures? Did I hear her right? All right, so we want to get 500 more before Thursday. We got that conditional use permit hearing happening this Thursday. And with that, I want to bring forth Comrade Kenge Maile, who's going to say more about the call to action. Uhuru, let's give it up. Sorry. All right.
All right, Uhuru, everyone, just saying, please take his petition, because he got 35 more signatures. All right.
That's right, 600.
Yep, for the post 600, and I really want to appreciate everyone's work coming out, today, what is wrong, this. And this is a call to action. How many people here have not signed the petition? Has anybody not signed the petition? Okay, well, I'm gonna hand this to you right now, and I want you to sign it, please. How many people here have not, signed up to participate in the radio station in terms of building it? Have not signed up to either write a letter of support, to take out petitions, to distribute flyers, to make phone calls, or announcements, or even give a fundraiser, because it's gonna take money also too to get the station up and running.
It's all right.
Hmm?
It's
Did
all
you
right.
hear?
Yeah.
All right, Uhuru. So that clipboard is going around. Anybody, again, as I said, has not signed up to participate in either giving a fundraiser, making phone calls. Sister Wendy is having a yard sale on the fifth, September 5th. So we want to make sure we get that information out, people support, and that's for the radio station. What, again, we've been speaking about is the conditional use hearing that's happening on the 27th of this month. What is gonna be important is that we are actually able to, not just with petition signatures and with support letters, is be able to show our support by being on the Zoom call that they have on the 27th. So what I wanna do is make sure that everyone here, first of all, raise your hand if you're able to be on the Zoom 8:30 on the 27th for this conditional use hearing. Raise your hand high, 8:30. And I think, let's see here. Yeah, it's gonna be on Zoom. You don't have to be there in person. It's on Zoom. So we have designated some people to speak already. And I'm sure that our department, our radio station managers will be calling you to make sure you have the appropriate Zoom information. But I want to read some instructions or whatever right now, just to make people feel a little bit more comfortable with this process. The instructions and the Zoom information is on the sheet, so I want to make sure that you get one of these handouts here because it has all the information on it. But I'm gonna read it for you right now. It says the hearing begins at 8:30 a.m. and we are the 6th on the list to be heard. So the exact time of when our case will be heard is gonna be somewhat unpredictable. But it's advisable to come onto the Zoom meeting at 8:25 a.m. But you are not able to speak until either 9 a.m. or 9:15. And we're told that people can still, if you can't come on until then, 9 or 9:15, that they're still gonna let people into the waiting room. The zoning board will begin by asking representatives of the building owner, which is the African People's Education and Defense Fund, to describe our project and to answer a standard set of questions. Then they will ask those on the call supporting the project to speak, which would be you. We have designated 7 people to speak first. One will be our lawyer. One will be Comrade Fofi with the All African People's Development and Empowerment Project, which is the entity that actually holds the radio station license. And then there will also be a representative from the National Black Radio Hall of Fame, which is located right here in St. Louis, and a few more organizations from the community. Once they have spoken, it'll be opened up for everyone else that has come on to speak. And it says, unless you've been contacted by us to make a longer statement, we are asking anyone who's there to support the radio station to simply state your name, your address, and that you are attending to show your support for the new Northside Black Community Radio Station. Thank you. So in other words, not asking you to give a long speech, but just exactly what is stated here, that you're here for that particular project. Because they're gonna hear several other cases, so it's gonna be several other projects, cases, but projects. So it'll be important to get on at the time that's suggested in the handout. And once it's opened up for those that, because other than, for those, once it's opened up for others outside of those that we've designated, then that would be the time. I understand there's no order, there's no hand raised feature, although they may give those instructions, so it will be important also to be on at the suggested time to make sure that you are able to to show your support. So again, Who doesn't have one? I know you need one. Brett, Jesse, Sister Sophia, you gonna come on? Okay, there you go. There you go. And anybody that has not, signed up, what I wanna do, once the rally is over, please see me. I would like to get your name, your contact information, your email, phone number, etc., so that we can contact you and make sure, one, that you're gonna be on. Number two, that, if you have any questions, we wanna be able to answer any questions that you might have as well with regard to the process. But again, what's gonna be important is to be on the Zoom at the time that is designated. And if you have not been designated again to speak, to simply state that your name, your address, and that you are on for this project to show your support for the new Northside Black Community Radio Station. And then, of course, we want to be kind, we want to be polite. But again, we have not been turned down. Our hope is that we have gotten, that we beat them to the punch, so to speak, that we've gotten all our ducks in a row, to be able to show them that this is a much needed project, for this community, because from that point on, that means that we can focus our efforts on raising money and actually getting, 94.1, on the air. So, Uhuru.
Uhuru, all right, that's real. I really want to appreciate what the comrade just said, because we have a rendering on the side of the wall here in this banner. And hopefully we can have that rendering up on the screen, but I just want people to see what it's going to look like when we build it. And we talk about culture right here in St. Louis, and St. Louis has such a rich history for culture. You can Google it up. I'm not going to get into it. The list is too long. But I do know that on that list now, not that we don't have, is two people in this room, Comrade Makeda and Comrade Lifestyle. They're not on that Hall of Fame list yet. But Makeda is well on her way there. And Comrade Lifestyle is somebody who performed last Saturday. He came to the meeting last Sunday. He ate at the bakery during the week. He's back to the meeting today. So I see he's making his lifestyle being with Uhuru, and I just wanted to recognize him and say that. And speaking of lifestyle, I want to speak next to a person who's given his life to this movement. We wouldn't be here today having this discussion if he hadn't made up in his mind that Black people need to have freedom. And that Black people have to understand Uhuru is not an empty term. We say it when you walk in this door. We say it when you leave this door. We say it when you call our phones. We say it when we depart each other's company. 24/7, freedom has to be on the minds of African people. Freedom first and peace will last. That's what Chairman Omali Yeshitela has brought to the African nation. And I want to bring forth the leadership of the African nation, Chairman Omali Yeshitela of the African People's Socialist Party. Uhuru.
Uhuru, first, I really want to express my appreciation to Comrade President Bakri Olutunji. Most of you, I think, know already that Comrade Bakri is here now and has taken on the responsibility of presiding over the International People's Democratic Uhuru Movement, which is an international organization. As you will see if you have not already experienced that reality. He was located, this is his second time being here in St. Louis, but he was located in California. And he's moved here, a statement of his intentions, the sincerity of his commitment. And he's in the process now looking for place he intends to purchase. He's going to be here with us. And so I wanted to just acknowledge Comrade Bakri Olutunji. And he's not he's not exactly a spring chicken. He's been in this movement for a while. And Bakri is a nurse. And some of you know already, I think, that when Huey P. Newton was assassinated in Oakland, California, where we were both stationed, and Bakri presided over a free health clinic, mobile health clinic that we operated in Oakland, California. And Bakri was a key force there. We had something like 40 volunteer healthcare workers who allowed us to bring healthcare to the most impoverished sector of the African community in Oakland, California. So Bakri, that's the kind of work Bakri has been involved in. It's not new. And I got this call late in the night or early in the morning, and it was Comrade Bakri. And he was at this hospital, Highland Hospital in Oakland, California. And he said, Chairman, they just brought in Huey. He's been shot twice in the head. And when he told me this, I made a declaration at that point that by the time of Huey P. Newton's funeral, we, the African People's Socialist Party, Uhuru movement, will have to find who Huey P. Newton was. Because that very same morning, that same day they killed him, newspaper article headline from Prime Minister to bum. They were declaring Huey P. Newton as a bum. They used the assassination of Huey P. Newton with the intention of besmirching, undermining the whole Black liberation movement that we were involved in, but we wouldn't let them do that. And so there was no place you could go, literally no place in Oakland, California, where you did not see the silhouette of Huey P. Newton standing with that shotgun in his hand. And we led demonstrations throughout Oakland, said, who killed Huey? Don't tell no lie. The government, the FBI. And so all the police in the city of Oakland, every one of them disappeared. You couldn't find a cop on the streets the morning after they killed Huey. We took to the streets. We demonstrated up and down the street. We set up where the place where he was killed. Come at Biko Lumumba. You've seen Janaba. You've seen some videos of Janaba Lumumba, my granddaughter, her father. He set up on a pickup truck, and he had videos that we were showing of Huey P. Newton and the Black Panther Party, and people were coming, Africans were coming from everywhere, and they were putting down their flowers and other kinds of things to hold up, to memorialize Huey P. Newton. And when the media came out, they stoned the media for the slander that they had been doing against the Black Panther Party and Huey P. Newton. So Bakri was there. And like I said, he has been, there for a long period of time, and it's really important for him to be here now. Yeah. I wanted to mention that. Yeah. Because I'm also talking about an era when the masses of our people were involved in political work. This should be a completely unsatisfactory state that we are functioning in right now, where the people are looking like spectators, sitting on the sideline of the struggle, where we don't have a relationship with people. We have these phony things called friend, and the friend is on the computer. That's not real. That, cyberspace is phony. It's not even real. People got X numbers of friends on the computer and don't even know the names of the next door neighbors. That's not permissible. And so we have to build a social movement. The masses of our people have to be brought into political life. And that's what we are about. That's what we're talking about. The radio station functions like that. Bakri has come here to assume the responsibility we're talking about, helping to bring masses of Black people. And because they play us cheap, especially the African working class people, they play us cheap. They have no respect for who we are and the fact that we hold up the entire foundation, because if it were not for us, there would not even be an America. So that's the reality that we recognize. So we don't play the people cheap, but you have to come back into political life. And the reason I'm standing here right now, listen, Sister Wendy stands here having just recently endured a stroke, but she's here to be with the people. She's doing other kinds of stuff too, in terms of rehab and et cetera, but most of her rehabilitation is working for the people. And that's what it's about. So I wanted to make those statements, and also to say that part of what we have to do, we got that radio station, that bakery down the street here. That's our bakery. That's your bakery. And we have to claim it in a real way. We have to be accessible to the radio station. We need to be willing to volunteer at the at the bakery. That's our bakery. I mean, we had hundreds of people who came out, loved the bakery. There's not even a place like this in the African community. On the north side, we don't even have a place. You have to cross the Delmar Divide to go get some of your food. And that's you have to cross the Delmar, you have to go to the white community to get some of your food. Because that's where all of our resources are located, in some white community, someplace in the world. So now this is ours. And so we have to support it. And we're going to be calling on people to volunteer at the bakery. Sister Kennedy, doing that right now. Volunteer right now. We need people to volunteer to be there. We're looking for a baker. We're looking for a chef. We need Africans who can do that, because we've hired people. This is one of the tricky things, Comrade Brother Barker, as you know. We hired people, and we end up hiring somebody, and this person we hire that's supposed to have this great expertise and going to bring all of her genius to the work. It turns out that she's working against us. She says that somehow we're involved in some satanic. I mean, what in the hell is she talking about? Some satanic thing, and also because of the white people. Etc. There's no place that you can live in the world where you're not having an association with white people, but there's only a few places in the world where you can have an association with white people under your leadership, under our leadership. And that's here. So anyway, she attacks us, etc. She doesn't even show up for work. She didn't even call to say, I'm not coming back anymore. She just stopped and left us in the lurch. And so the thing is, we gotta have a baker. And we got to have chefs and things like that. You know, bakers and chefs, and they got to be brought into this process. And we're hiring people to do that kind of work. It's not like people are working for nothing. So I wanted to mention that because we have to build our own economy. We have to build an economy that works for us. People now spend all kinds of money. I pass through it on a regular basis. I go to places like Trader Joe's. I go to Walmart. I go to Aldi's, etc. And they got their little pies and cakes up there. Have you ever eaten a pie from Uhuru Bakery? That's a pie. Yeah. You can taste every ingredient in the damn pie. It's extraordinary. And you won't find that at any of these other places that you're going to. And plus, it contributes to our own independent capacity. We have to create a situation where money circulates in our community. Because as it is, the money comes in, boom, goes someplace else. Because if the money doesn't circulate in the community, you don't have the ability to hire each other. We can't hire somebody if the money doesn't stay here long enough for us to be able to give somebody a job. So we will voluntarily do what Comrade Sister Wendy is doing. To make it possible to have our own independent capacity as a people. Because if you don't have that, you have no dignity. There's no dignity in being a voluntary slave. So what we will do is volunteer to be free. We will build that bakery. We will do everything that's necessary to make that happen. So that's what we want to do. And we're asking people to come into political life. And we were kicked off our stride for a moment ago. For a moment, we were kicked off the stride. Because the United States government attacked this movement on July 29th, 2022. It attacked us. It came with military vehicles. It came with at pre-dawn. So you couldn't even see them. They woke up the whole damn community. And when we first heard it, we should have known it wasn't a tornado. We thought it would have been a tornado warning, but I forgot they don't give tornado warnings here. They forget to press the button. But they attacked us, and then they zip tied me behind my back. They put my wife in handcuffs behind her back, etc. And then told us we could sit on the curb if we wanted to. You've seen that before, how they have Africans sitting on the curb. It's an assault on your dignity to do that kind of thing. And that's what they were going to do to us. And but anyway, we went with them. They kicked us off our stride. And so we worked for 2-3 years just fighting that case. Beat their asses in the court. They accused us of working for the Russians. And they knew we didn't work for Russians. Their problem is not that we might not have been working for Russia. Their problem is that we weren't working for them. They weren't working for them. We worked for black people. And a jury, even though they kicked off the only African woman from the jury, a working class woman from the jury said that they voted us not guilty of being Russian agents. So that happened. Then what they did say, however, and that was punishing for 10 years in prison, $250,000 fine. They wanted to take all the resources that went to that basketball court. They wanted us to give it to the government so that we couldn't put it in the basketball court. All the money that we put into the bakery, all the money that we put into the farm and the gardens that we've created up and down here, they wanted to take it from us and give it to the government so we couldn't spend it on black people. And so we couldn't use it to organize. But Judge, at the end of the day, he said, not a day in jail. And he said, and no fine. He said, because if I fine you anyway, that you're just gonna raise the money any damn way. Right. He didn't say damn, but that's what he said. Right. And he was right. We were gonna raise the money anyway. So we've been involved, in a serious campaign, and we want you to be a part of the campaign. This whole attack on me, I'm just an individual. They've attacked Africans up and down the line. There has never been a time in our history, and I guarantee you, I challenge anybody in this meeting or anybody who's receiving this meeting via social media, anything else, to tell me a time where there was not an African leader who was working for the liberation of our people that was not attacked, either directly by the United States government or indirectly by its minions like the Ku Klux Klan and also in a place like St. Louis, you're talking about what? The Veiled Prophet. Yeah. So that's just been the history of this relationship. And that's one of the reasons why this question of reparations is so important to us. So we want to build a social movement, We want to create, even here, we want you to take charge of these meetings. We want this meeting to function like a church, in the sense that there are people who function like deacons and mothers and what have you here, that's responsible for winning and getting people to come here. That's responsible for creating even an early day in Sunday, like a Sunday school thing that people like Torrin, stand up, Torrin. There's Torrin. See Torrin with that baby there? What a perfect person to lead the Sunday school and that thing that we would have early on Sundays to train people, to teach young African people about Black revolution, to teach African people about reparations, to teach African people about our rights as a people. That's the kind of thing that we want to make happen. And so we want to organize and function in that fashion. You know what I'm talking about, because everybody in here has belonged to some kind of church or another one. And so we want to do that kind of thing. And we want you to participate. Want you to be prepared to do that. Because it's our movement. It's our community. And it's important for us to not be spectators sitting on the sideline of our own community. We have to be able to participate. And this is the thing that frightens the hell out of them. Because the real crucial question is when the African masses are brought back into political life. They frighten us out of political life. They kill us out of political life. They imprison us out of political life. But it's not enough. That's why they have to keep doing it, because we're going to keep struggling, because we're going to be free. That's all it's about. So I'm going to sit in a minute. I just wanted to make this point. We need volunteers to be at that bakery. Bakery is there, what, 4 days, 5 days? How many days a week?
4 days a week.
4 days a week. What?
Thursday through Sunday.
Thursdays through Sundays. So we need people to be at the bakery. We need African people. We need Black people to be at the bakery, because that's the base of our community. People can't hurt us, because if we don't have an obvious participation from the masses of Black people, then that bakery in any institution that we have is extraordinarily vulnerable. The thing that protects our community and our institutions is the people. But the people have to be activated, mobilized, and brought into the process. And then I just want to say this, that this month represents the 25th anniversary of an extraordinary event sponsored by the United Nations that happened in Durban, South Africa. And on the 31st of August in 2001, the World Conference Against Racism, sponsored by the United Nations. I say the United Nations, you hear what I'm saying, right? I'm not talking about, the organization next door. I'm talking about the United Nations that it presumably, that formally, that is supposed to represent all the peoples in the world. We know that even from its very inception, it was rigged in a certain way. But we've come to this place now where we push them to have to recognize the struggle of Black people as a critical struggle. So in Durban, 2001, the World Conference Against Racism, we saw that it was declared by the United Nations, by this event by the United Nations, that the so-called slavery and the trade in Black people was a crime against humanity. Wow. Which means that according to international law, there is no statute of limitations on a crime against humanity, which means that the countries that refused to participate then was the illegitimate white nationalist settler state of Israel and the United States. They walked out, but the World Conference happened anyway, and it declared again that slavery and the trade in African people was a crime against humanity. Wow. Which means that the forces who did that are fugitives from justice right now. Which means that you talk about me being some kind of, what do they call us, unindicted co-conspirators. The colonizer is the co-conspirators. They're the ones who conspired to come to Africa to kidnap us and made it pop. Why am I in St. Louis any damn way? So, but I'm in St. Louis because somebody came to Africa and kidnapped me, kidnapped my parents, kidnapped my family, made an attack on Africa 600 years ago and brought us into this process. That's why there's a Cuba. You see what they're trying to do to Cuba now? That's why there's a Cuba. That's why there's a Venezuela. You see, there was no Venezuela. There was no Cuba. There was no Panama. There was no Jamaica. There was no Haiti. All of these places came about as a consequence of the attack on Africa and the forced dispersal of Black people all around the world. Ain't that something? That's right. We've been central to the development, the whole world political and economic configuration, the whole world is based on what has happened to African people. And so a colonial mode of production is what we're looking at. And we're working our way out of it right now. And Durban is critical. Durban says who the real criminals are. And it's really important for us to remember that. So I just want to say, on the 29th of this month, right here at the Uhuru House, the Black is Back Coalition for Social Justice, Peace, and Reparations will be having our annual conference. And this conference revolves around Durban, holding up Durban. And it's really important for us to help to not allow them to make Durban disappear. Because in March of this year, guess what happened? Following up on Durban, you had the United Nations come back and say that slavery and the trade in Black people is the gravest crime in history. What? This is what they've said, that slavery and the trade in Black people is the gravest crime in history. Isn't that something? That means finally the world is coming around to the position that we've understood all along. Right. And finally, we're beginning to identify who the real crime is located. Not some 16-year-old kid trying to hustle here in North St. Louis. The real crimes are those who wear pinstripe suits and the rest of it, who meet in dark rooms and air-conditioned rooms and make decisions about the rest of us, who they're going to drone tomorrow. where they're gonna put the next spy center to destroy another black community like they're doing right here. Those are the real criminals. So it's just really important for us to recognize Durban. And so that's what we're going to be doing also with the coalition, Black is Black Coalition Annual Conference. And I know Sister Safia and the Universal African Peoples Organization will be playing a more important role. They're part of the Black is Black Coalition. They're helping to plan for the event that we're going to have in addition to the conference that we're having. There's going to be a march. There's going to be a demonstration, and everybody here should be willing to play a role in that. So that's going to be. You can get more information going to blackisblackcoalition.org. And I've talked a lot. I know I've talked a long time, much longer than I expected to. But this is really an important moment in history. And we have to take advantage of it. We can't sleep on it. We have to take advantage of it, and we have to be willing to step up and play a role. And nobody's asking you to do anything dangerous, asking you to play a role in working to help that bakery, asking you to play a role in working to help develop the kind of meetings that we have to have here, have our own church-like situation where we take responsibility for making it happen collectively. This is the thing that helps to build a social movement and helps to bring African masses back into political life. Thank you, brothers and sisters. Uhuru.
All right. Ease where lay to. E Africa.
Let's do.
All right. Uhuru.
Uhuru.
Really want to appreciate the chairman for letting us know that we are no longer doing a spectator sport in this meeting. That means that people in this meeting will leave here and they will come to the bakery when need be. That means they will go get these petitions filled out when need be, which is every day. I've been to the bakery every day since they opened up, and I plan to continue that, and I hope other people will do that as well. And you have neighbors, you have family, you have friends, and you have people who you don't like at your jobs that you want to bring here, that you want to get in touch with this work.
That you don't like.
Even if you can't, I mean, if Comrade Wendy can be here, you know, I was a nurse, like the chairman said, and I've seen what a stroke can do to debilitate people. But this sister looks stronger than a lot of people who ain't had a stroke, you know, who goes to the gym, who walks up these stairs without somebody helping her, who gets hundreds of petitions by herself. And if that sister can do it, you ain't got no excuse you can stand on from my view. So I want to say, let's get to work, comrades. Let's be about organization. Let's join the work. And with that, I want to bring up my comrade, my partner, 4 feet, Akibalan, Uhuru. Fight back. Fight back. Uhuru.
Uhuru, comrades. So when I come to the mic, you know I'm going to do one or two things. I'm going to do a poem, or I'm going to ask you for your resources, or I'm going to ask you to become a member. Today, our goal is $200. Why? Because we are going to split the resources with the radio station. Because if we don't support it, we won't get it. So we are going to support it. Uhuru? All right, all right. And you comrades online, you also can become supporters by going to Cash App, InPDUM. It'll say IEC after you pull it up. That's the right one. At the moment, the InPDUM donation page is having some difficulty, so we will not lead you there. You will take dollars, quarters, nickels, dimes, but we want big nickels like $5 bills, dimes like $10 bills. We'll take quarters like $25. Now, our goal, like I say, is $200. If you have $200, then I can finish what I'm doing in the back and say thank you very much. We have $200. Anybody want to donate? Okay, how about $100? Okay, let's say who got $20 they want to donate today?
I got 25.
You got 25?
I know they got
Up.
4 more people.
25?
$25. I got 25. 4 more people, 25.
Okay,
One more.
2 of us. 2 down. Okay, well, that's 25 we got. $20. Comrades, every dollar you donate.
This donates money, but they get the difference. I'll make the difference of $25. You got one of those cards, you know, I have a back.
We got you.
Uhuru.
We got you. Uhuru. Oh, you got some more? We got some, Rage, can you help this young man right here? Thank you, comrade. Every dollar you donate comes back to the community. These papers we passing around, the flyers that we give out to the community, the electricity, the gas, the things to make our community comfortable has to come from somewhere, and it does not stop because we were taught this community only deserved the best. As you can see, the bakery, you see the Shambhala Farm, the place across down the street, the basketball court. That's, I don't play basketball, but it looks nice. Okay. And across the street, that is our Gary Brooks Garden. All right. And our little place where you can sit back and kick your legs up and enjoy nature. All of these things come from us to us. Okay. So it's not like we what is the word? When you do your everything is upboard. Above board. Well, I guess that'll work. But comrades, every nickel and dime goes into the community. And now let's talk about membership. Resources is one way you can be a part of this, or you can put up your fist to make a dent. Let's talk about membership. The International People Democratic Uhuru Movement is the organization on the ground doing the work. We can show you action. We'll show you how to fight back. The InPDUM organization./today is where you would go to become a member. The general membership is $25 a year. $25 a year. And with that being said, Comrade Kennedy has her membership paid today. So that is in that resources. Okay? It was donated from she has a sponsor, Comrade Carol.
Right on.
All right. The Musa Abantu level InPDUM membership is $10, and that's our annual membership, and student and unemployed. If you're unemployed, we still got a membership for you. If you're a student, we want you too. George Jackson, Desi Wood level membership. This membership is a special membership, and it's for a whole year. It's for our brothers and sisters that are behind bars, because we want to equip them with the right information so when they come out, they will be ready to live a life of liberation, not a life of going back and getting back into what got them in there in the first place. We want to make them proud to be Africans. That is if you have some, plus they will get a burning spear behind bars. With a $5 membership, you can make that happen. Okay, comrades, that's the membership. You can go to inpdum.org/today and choose a higher membership if that's what you choose to do, because it goes all the way up to lifetime membership, which is myself. How many lifetime members we have in here? 2, 3. All right, comrades. Yeah, everything is possible. Everything is possible. This organization is a road to liberation. All right. And you have to do it 1 foot at a time. Take a finger, turn it to a fist, and you can make a dent in revolution. Uhuru.
I want to thank Comrade 4 Feet, and we'll have a little report later about the resource we raised. I want to recognize Comrade Kennedy for becoming a member today. Is there anybody else who wants to join today? Not next week, but today in this meeting. We talking about we want to make this like church. I remember the days when I used to go to church. And I used to be afraid they recognize people who was there for the first time, like you put your head down, like when the teacher called you in class, everybody got their hand up and you got your head down because you don't want to know, you don't know the answer, right? But we know what the answer is. The answer is organization. African people cannot sit on the sidelines. We have to take responsibility to solve the problems of the revolution. We have to do it. And you're not putting yourself no more at risk than what you already are. And you already spent 600 years on the front line, and we don't want 600 more years on the front lines for anybody. We have to take that responsibility up. So that's what we call on people to do. I have the responsibility of putting announcements up, but I don't have announcements that I can read off of, so I'm assuming they're going to get put up for me real soon. And if anybody donated online to if you're in the room and you donated online, raise your hands. We have 2 people. All right. Brother Eddie. All right, I just want to let people know about Burning Spirit TV. This is how you can watch this. I was just saying, Uhuru, comrade, I just saw your good-looking self. I just wanted to acknowledge that.
Talk slow, talk slow, talk slow.
All right, talk slow. You know, there's this one brother who was a TV personality in Oakland, Chauncey Bailey. He's always saying less is saying more. So you telling me a similar thing, talk slow. Enunciate. I appreciate that, comrade. Thank you so much. So anyway, we have Burning Spirit TV that broadcasts this program every Sunday. And we hope that people will share today's broadcast far and wide. We want to have people coming back next week, just like we want people coming here in the building next week and bringing somebody with you. So share far and wide. Uhuru. And we also are going to be having this event that the UN declares African enslavement the worst crime against humanity. We just heard about that. White people take a stand for reparations now. That is going to be this coming Wednesday, August 26th, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 6:30 Central, 4:30 Pacific Time, and it'll be online. You can go to apscuhuru.org to register. Again, that is apscuhuru.org to register. We will have Penny Hess, who's here in the room today, who will be speaking, and Chairman Omali Eshatella, who is here in the room today, will also be speaking at that wonderful event. And we've heard a little bit about reparations. You're going to hear more about it on this event coming this Wednesday evening. And the chairman just talked about the Black is Back Coalition this coming weekend, the 18th annual conference, commemorating the 25th anniversary of the 2001 Durban Conference. And this is going to be a very powerful event. It's going to be right here where those of you who are in the building are sitting right now. So again, you can come back here on next Sunday to participate in this. We talk about a crime. The transatlantic slave trade is a crime against humanity. Reparations now. They say cut back. We say payback. All right, and there's no better way to pay back, as Comrade Fofi just said, with your fists up. And if we fight back, we will win. And Arrest CPS is sponsored by ANWO, the African National Women's Organization. And we want to stop the arrest of our children, stop the kidnapping of Black children under this thing that guise of child protective services. People who have snatched African people up, who've murdered African babies, threw them up in the air and put their bayonets and impale them. These are the people who tell us that they got to take our children from us. As a nurse, I witnessed in hospitals where mothers who were on crack that they put in our communities, when they had babies, they took their babies from them on the spot. Yeah. I've seen where they had white women who had alcohol fetal syndrome, which was worse and more debilitating than women who were born with crack. They would let these mothers keep their babies, take their babies home, but an African woman would have her baby taken out soon as it breathes its first breath. We cannot have that anymore. We have to stop CPS from kidnapping our babies. So again, this is going to be a National Day of Action on a week from today, next Sunday. Go to ANWO for more information. My eyes are really, Arrest CPS at ANWOUhuru.org for more information. And we got to get with this, y'all. Y'all got to check out ANWO, because ANWO is about African women taking the lead around this question. Uhuru. And we want to have access to healthy food and building Black economic power. We have our One Africa, One Nation market that we do here the first Saturday of every month, just down the street. And September is no different date. We're going to be doing it again on September, whatever date it is, but it's going to be the first weekend in September at 4007, September 5th. Thank you so much, comrade. Saturday, September 5th. Mark your calendars. And the 10. And it is about providing access, fresh, healthy food to the Black community. And it serves as an incubator for community commerce by building relationships with Black farmers and Black businesses, a blueprint for African self-determination and self-reliance. And we talk about farm to table. That's what we have with the Black Power Blueprint. We grow our food in the garden. We grow our food in the bakery. We cook our food in the bakery, and we produce and distribute our food right here at this One Africa, One Nation market. We have an example, a practice of breakfast of farm to table right here with this project. So we want people to really get with it. Uhuru. And we talked about this earlier. Comrade Fofi is with ABDEP, and she is part of the Stop the Bleed, and we want to learn how to save a life, and CPR and stopping the first aid and stopping things how to bleed is so vitally important, particularly in the African community where you see horizontal violence. And the thing, we can stop that not just by applying the tourniquet, but we can stop it by going to the people and waking them up with these politics we're talking about here. We say our safety is in the people. We have to get them on board with this program. So Stop the Bleed is going to be happening on Saturday, September 26th. It's going to be from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And it's going to be at the Center of Divine Love at 3617 Wyoming Street. And we want people to come there. And for more information, they contact ABDEP. Contact you right here. Somebody online wanted to contact you. How do they do it?
They will contact
All right. So again, yeah, go to ABDEP and look for Stop the Bleed. And this is a part of, again, ABDEP, the All African People's Development and Empowerment Project. And Project Ankh is our response to what you see when you see the Red Cross going into these places where things happen. And the Red Cross ain't never did nothing for the African community. They didn't do nothing here in St. Louis when that tornado hit, you know what I'm saying? So we want to be to respond to our own disasters, and actually colonialism is the biggest disaster we got, and we got to respond to that too. Yeah. So Uhuru, Stop the Bleed. And again, we talk about the International People's Democratic Uhuru Movement, and we have studies every Thursday. And I got to remember, I'm in the new time zone. Every Thursday at 7 p.m. You can go to tinyurl.com/RNDP studies to register, or you can go on Facebook at facebook.com/InPDUM. And these studies are very important because Chairman has given us a theory of African internationalism, and that's looking at things from the perspective of the slave. Because all our life, we learn things from the perspective of the slave master. And when we listen to the slave master, it makes us scared of everything we do to empower ourselves. And what African internationalism does is gives us the information to not only know what it is we need to do, but it gives us the practice on what we need to do. And it is a theory of practice, and practice is primary. And that's what people used to say, action speaks louder than words. Uhuru. And last but not least, we're talking about our ammunition, our AK-47, a burning spear. This is the journal of the Uhuru movement. This is something that's been around since 1968. And I think it was even in print before that, but this is the oldest revolutionary journal in print that we know of. You can go back and find articles that speak to everything that the party has gone through. And you guys got to read the history of this organization, and not only the history, but you can read about something that just happened last week down the street here in St. Louis. You can read that. So again, we want people to read it. We want people to write for it. We want people to volunteer to be on staff for it. And we want people to take it and go sell it to your neighbor, sell it to your friends, and definitely give it to your enemies. Uhuru. All right. And here we go. We want to build these rallies. How many people are coming next week and can tell somebody else come? We're going to be doing the thing next week, the Black is Back next week. But the week after that, but I want you to come to that too. But the week after that, we'll have our next meeting here. But we need people to sign up to join the Caramoo. We got food here. Some of it is vegan, some of it is not. We gotta put signs up to say what's what when we do. And believe me, like going to church, you want to eat after the meeting, don't you? All right. So if you want to eat like what you want to eat, bring you something to eat. So we have people who we need help joining the AV team to work the camera, to make sure we got everything right. We heard a little bit of issue earlier with DJ Eddie. We want to make sure somebody can be on it to correct that the very moment the sound goes down. We want people to distribute leaflets and posters, just like some of you already said that you will do. And we want to hold people to that, because I think people should be about their word. If you say you coming to a meeting, I had people who said they was coming to the meeting. Guess what? They came to the meeting, and we need people to make them phone calls, to have people come to these meetings. And we need security for the meeting. I want to really acknowledge Torrin and Carol, who are back there. They've been on security. And when people come to these meetings, they want to feel safe. Right. And actually, this is the safest place to be right here. You know what I'm saying? This is the safest place to be in St. Louis on Sunday. So we want people to do that. And one day we want to get back to that flag detail. We want to have the raising and the lowering of the flag, or the lowering of the flag after this meeting. And I'm looking forward to that. And we have to have people here to make that happen. Uhuru. So with that, comrades, DJ Eddie, you have anything that you want to say to close us out, comrade?
Well, thank you, Comrade Barker. I just want to appreciate this time to speak to the people there in St. Louis, that this radio station is coming to what Black Power will look like in your area, in your community. I just want to make sure that they know how very, very important it is to have your voice, the working class voice on the radio, a radio station that can bring you everything for survival. That's what that radio station is about. It's just about survival in our community. When something like you just mentioned, the tornado happened, if Black Power had been there, somebody would have been in the station to tell the other Black people what to do, how we're moving, how we're going to organize. And I want to commend all of you all there in St. Louis because you did an absolutely tremendous job coming together when that community, the colonizer wouldn't come together. You guys on the ground, the Uhuru movement made it happen where they got the volunteers to come out, set up stations where people can charge their phone, can do all the necessary things that need to be done in our community. Right here in St. Petersburg, Florida, we need this radio station. I can tell you, speaking as a member of the Uhuru movement, speaking of a member of the African People's Socialist Party, I can go home now. I don't have internet, but I have a radio. I have a radio that I can listen to and find out what's going on in my community. Because when you don't have internet these days, you don't have television. And of course, I don't need no television, but our Black people need some television because that's what we've been colonized to watch and listen to. But if it's not there, we have Black Power Radio. Keep St. Louis Black. And I just want to tell them all to do what they can while you can. Do what you can while you can. Uhuru, Parker.
All right, Uhuru. All right. If we fight, if we fight,
we win.
If we fight,
we win.
Uhuru.
Vanguard up.